There
It's
she
coming.
is.
Hold
What's
tight.
what do you mean hold tight? What's happening, woman? You sound great.
What's up, BA?
Not
Right.
much. Looking fantastic. How are things in your world?
A little chaotic. We got
Is that the new domicile that I'm looking at behind me? Behind
yes,
you?
yes,
When
indeed.
when did you move in?
2 weeks ago.
Well,
So
congratulations. I guess you heard that I ran into family at the airport. Did
I
you?
have not because I haven't seen family. So we've been
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
was
I was coming in
really
for coach.
my closet.
I was coming in for coaches versus cancer, and who walks up to me but Chuck? And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, and then he said, "Hey, you know, Susan's going to be joining me." I'm like, "No kidding." So I guess we had graduation festivities.
Oh yeah. So Tommy just graduated, and we had the Strawberry Fields event. So it was legit mayhem all that
Yes,
week.
yeah,
Move in, graduation, and then I did a pre-prom party. I was like, dude, I am done.
I
So
heard. I heard. Well, congratulations to Tommy.
yeah, no, it's exciting. He got accepted to SMEAL. Like it's a
Well,
big deal.
I mean that's a huge deal. I'm a SMEAL graduate, so I'm kind of impartial to that. Before we get to why I really wanted to talk to you, just talk
Yeah.
about when was PYP established? What year was that?
We opened September 2013, so we're hitting our 10-year anniversary this coming September.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. Talk about some of the programs that you offer. I know it's a ton of them.
Um, well, since post-pandemic, we kind of our schedule diminished a little bit. We were offering everything from, power yoga, or heated yoga, Pilates, cycle, strength-based classes, Pilates reformers. So we have a vast schedule. It's just since post-pandemic, we had to consolidate a little bit. Just because there was we didn't have the team to facilitate all of the scheduling that we had in the past. Moreover, there just wasn't the demand. And now we're just starting to see, I'd say in these last 6, 8 months, a little bit of a resurgency of people coming back into the studio, which is really refreshing. So
Yeah.
I think
How during the pandemic, what were you? How long were you like totally shut down, and how did you pivot and like
it was two full months, maybe a hair more. And then we set up all virtual platforms. So during that time, we did set up the virtual platform through, I don't even remember what we were doing, some Zoom stuff. And then we set up Vimeo. We tried that. So we did like this whole gamut of things. And then we ended up with Boxcaster. We still actually run virtual classes. Not as many as we did, but we have a library now of like 2,000 classes, which is kind of insane.
that?
So
That's a
our
lot.
platform has expanded, but we're doing well. And where Carrie and I were teaching 14, 15 classes a week, we're down to 4 to 6. So it's a lot more sustainable 10 years later than it
I
was
was
when
gonna
we.
say more manageable, but you still have the ability to kick someone's ass on the bike on a stationary bike like you used to, right?
I sort of I do my best. Yes, that's how I
No need to be modest. Yeah, you're next level. Yeah, I can't keep up.
I
So
still have those abilities. Yes.
all right. So Nama Stadium. Talk to me about how that came about. I think it's a brilliant idea.
It's so exciting. First of all, so Jill Garrigan, who is on our team, but also a part of the Penn State fitness team and staff, came to us and was like, "Hey, what do you think about this thing that was kind of on the hush hush that they're trying to build up some stuff at Beaver Stadium that's open up to the public?" So they're doing like the next thing is the movie. They were apparently there's going to be some like, I don't think it was zip lining. I don't know, but they've got a bunch of ideas that they're kind of milling through the town and opening it up to the general public, which I think is fantastic use of the facility. And so anyway, Jill came to us and she's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, duh, no brainer. I'm in, let's go.
Yeah,
So
hey, Jill. By the way, I know Jill. She's awesome. Love her.
she linked us up with the gentleman at the time in charge. And it just kind of, went from there. We didn't really have a lot to do with it other than we already had a current relationship with Penn State Athletics and the yoga program. within the athletics because we worked with plenty of the teams. So for us, it was kind of a natural fit. For me personally, obviously being alumni, growing up a mile and a half from the stadium, being a
Yes.
huge fan, the list goes on. And my son now is going to Penn State. So,
Yeah, that's kind of a punch in the gut. I'm sorry to interrupt, but your son is going to
oh,
college.
yeah, it's insane. It totally is insane. But that's essentially how it came to be, and it was kind of a no-brainer. I was like, it's the biggest platform that we will ever instruct on, and that's exciting to me. And to be able to do it on the turf at Beaver Stadium is insane. It's just like there's so many cool things. And I said for the first time, sorry, let me turn my new do not disturb on. For the first time, I think I might actually be nervous when instructing.
Oh, stop it. There's not a nervous bone in your body. So so it is going to be Saturday at Archfest, correct? The 15th of July?
Yes. And they opened it up to 600 people. Now, whether or not we fill that many spaces, we'll see. But I think that's a lot of bodies, a lot of extra eyes that we will need as a team to get together to make sure that we're conducting a safe and effective experience, because that's primary for us enjoying the experience. Because, there's going to be people there that are like, ooh, I want to get my picture taken. I'm on the field. And then there's others that are like, I just want to practice yoga. So, and
Right.
how do you amalgamate those two things and make it an incredible experience? Because there's going to be a little hype beforehand. And then there's going to be the serious side, which is, the true nature of a yoga practice, which is moving and breathing and meditation and motion. So we'll see
Right.
how that unfolds.
So your 600 is the goal.
It's an aim high goal. I feel like when we first discussed it, it was around 200, 300, and we hit that pretty quickly. And they kind of opened it up to more than that. So we'll see. I mean, that's a lot of human beings.
And do we know I'm assuming it's any level of yoga, right? As far as anybody who is interested.
Yes. So it's all level participation. It's 18 and over. So we're not getting a bunch of kids that are roaming out on the field. It's we like to say, it'd be nice if you have a little bit of a fitness background because it will be rigorous. It will be on the heat. So as we know, when you hop on turf, it gets hotter than when you're not on turf. So it's weather pending. We'll see. It's State College, so you never know what's going to happen. But the heat, the intensity of a physical asana, the intense power vinyasa practice will exist to some level. We'll certainly give variation and modification where need be, but we're there to work too. I mean, there's no joke here. This is a
Right.
power class, so
45 minutes an hour.
it's an hour. Yes.
And you already know what you have it already planned out and everything, or you still, I mean, I know you can do this in your sleep, but
Yeah, it's so the beautiful thing that Carrie and I have as a partnership is our ability to work together when we are teaching because we've been at this for so long. So we'll go in with a general idea of what needs to be done and then kind of you have to go in with some semblance of organization on how we're going to run the practice, but then also recognize that we need to have our eyes out there, and global awareness is huge in a practice like this. So how are people responding physically? Are a lot of people dropping down to their knees? Are we seeing people go into child's pose, stuff like that? So you've got to be mindful. So there is a certain amount of effort that needs to be put forth. So we're asking for a little bit of a fitness base. Don't have to have a current yoga practice, but it's not going to be easy. And, we will have a bit of a plan, but with the ability to deviate from the plan because, you never know what's going to show up with that many people on turf in heat.
well, as someone who's lived there off and on for so many years, I know that turf was somewhat sacred ground, and you mentioned that they're trying to do a bunch of different other things, which I think is great. To like if you only have 6 or 7 home games, like there's so many other opportunities. Was there any talk about like what? Because I'm assuming people are just going to bring their mats, their yoga mats, and you're just going to be on the turf.
Yep, that is correct. So they're opening up the doors an hour beforehand. And then, opportunity for people to take pictures. And then, there's a little bit of a hype session. I'm sure they're going to do a little Lion King promo, get the stadium ready and get excited. So there's that whoop whoop value of it, because let's be honest, it is what an exciting opportunity for our town. And I think it's incredible that the university is opening up to our, it's not a Penn State affiliate, they're looking at PYP Studio to say, okay, come in and we trust you to teach all of these people the sacred practice on sacred ground, really.
No, I think that's great. I can't think of a better representative in town. So I was so happy for you when I saw this, and even the name Nama Stadium is. I mean, come on. So,
It's so cool. It's so cool. Like the whole thing.
well, I'm sure everybody wants to know: are we going to see Coach Franklin in yoga tights? Is that have we?
I don't know. I'll have to drop him a text. I'll be like, hey, buddy, what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be in the stadium, I think that's only fair that he
Yeah.
participate and go all in. I mean,
You could go a onesie. I
I want
mean,
to see I want to see onesie, almost 80 styly headband, maybe some wristbands.
yes.
I think that's going to work. All right, so people who want to sign up for this event on July 15th at 9:30 a.m. I guess gates open at 8:30.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Gates open at 8. How would they sign up?
That's a good question that I don't have immediate access to. It is through the Penn State site. Let me see if I can quickly.
Well, you have. I saw on Facebook you have a link, so I'll include the link.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is through Penn State, and I will say this: it takes a couple clicks before you actually get to the tickets. That's why they had released this about 2 weeks ago, and nobody really knew who was doing it because the information was existing on the second page. And as we know, everybody likes one click. Let's go.
Right. That's all right. I think anyone who loves yoga, anybody who loves Penn State football, I think you're going to get the 600. I don't, and may have to open it up for more. If
I mean, it's the world is our oyster here on this one. It's just because it is the first time. We really want to make sure we deliver an incredible experience for everybody.
Right.
Certainly the university, but also for those that are participating, for the town, so that they continue to open it up for this type of thing. I think it's a really, really neat opportunity, and we're seeing some interesting shifts since the new AD has been rolling in. So I was chatting with Shar Moret about 2 weeks ago. Love me some Shar.
We all do. We all do.
Initiatives in sports. So we're seeing some really neat changes in town with regard to the fusion of Penn State and also the State College area.
The town and gown.
Yep. And really,
go ahead.
It's growth, and that's important here, especially post-pandemic.
Post-pandemic, I think we need to provide alternative experiences for people who, just for the bringing people into the town, even university students. Like, if you can offer different types of things, we're competing with everybody, nationwide. Now we're competing with the USCs and UCLAs too.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, you kind of glazed over it, but just tell me what your not just impression is, but are you going to be involved with this initiative that Shar is doing, which she talked to me about when I saw her, which yes, I'm excited about too.
Well, it's definitely in the infancy phases, but most assuredly, I don't know if you know, I helped coach. I was the middle school field hockey coach 2 seasons ago, and then I help with the varsity JV for state high. So she's all about bringing, the women in sports and, involvement in the area, and obviously our connection with Penn State University and the yoga program that we currently run. That there was some nice synergy. And what we can do as a local community to empower these young women in sports, and what's outside of all the blue and white. And I think that there's a lot of power in that. And especially, a bunch of my friends are former athletes, and a lot of the connection is, I was a D1 athlete, this D1 athlete, that, and then what's next? What are my opportunities outside of sports? And
yeah, I think. Yeah, the young women, grade school, middle school, high school, need to see professional women killing it like you guys are.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we think on good day. Well, there's good days and bad days for sure, but right now I feel like I'm killing it. I'm a little tired, but.
Well, a tip of the cap for being involved with that, I think, is so entirely necessary. So the last thing is, if someone cannot make this, but they would love to enjoy all that you provide at PYP, Where would they find the website?
It's thepypstudio.com. We are also PYP Studio on Instagram or on Facebook. So those handles exist a little bit more on a like presence for connection. We're seeing actually a lot of students now. It's the escape from the blue and the white, which is really, really interesting. And we're one of the few areas or one of the few places in town that offers heated practices. So I think that's attractive to people because there's nothing else that exists like it. And we're a little bit more of a niche market, but yes, that is how you contact us. And
And you're
unfortunately, they're not streaming this particular practice live, but we're going to be on the, the big giant
that's
LED.
awesome.
Yes, it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And it's located, actually, the studio is located by Honey Baked Ham there on South Atherton.
Yes,
Or
1748 South Atherton. Yes. So I'm just like, you get to drive by the stadium and I'll be like, woo, let's go. Namaste.
well, thank you for the time and good luck. And lastly, could you please give that big stud of yours, Fred, a big old smooch for me?
Oh, all of
That's
it.
my guy.
You know what he says? You can't pound a railroad spike with a ball peen hammer.
I knew you'd give me a quote that I could work with all
Oh,
day.
yes, indeed. That's how we roll, my friend.
Oh, you're the best.
Really
Love you to death. Take care. Tell the family I said hello.